I'm coming, please. All right. So now let's move into how can we use these particular tools. So here now we have installed the tools. We installed the client and we installed the server. So how can we use the tools? So the first thing I want to be explaining to you, we have 4 features. Like as what I explained to you, we have Access Patrol, Browse Control, Browse Reporter, and Empower Manager. This particular CurrentWare has 2 mode. We have PC mode and we have a user mode. So anytime you want to run this CurrentWare, it's either you are using PC mode or you are using user mode, but you cannot run the 2 mode at the same time. So you can use a PC mode or you use user mode. You can't use the 2 mode at the same time. So this particular CurrentWare we are using is a free trial. They're going to give you a 14 days trial, which is a 2 weeks. So if you can see here is a 14 days. If I refresh this my CurrentWare, so let me refresh it. So I'm coming. So if I refresh it, you're going to see that this guy is going to show you that this guy has a 14 days left, which is a 2 weeks free trial. So once this guy reach 14 days, you won't be able to use this free trial anymore until you get license. So here, this free trial, you can use it to manage like 10 different systems. You can use it to manage 10 different systems. And here I have only one system connected. That's why you are seeing 1 out of 10 connected. That's why you are seeing 1 out of 10 connected. And if I go to AccessPatrol, let's learn how to use these tools one by one. So how can we use AccessPatrol? Goes to manage. Once we are in manage, this guy will show the client PC outside. Why is this guy show the client PC? Is that we put the right IP address. So anytime you want to install the client, it is asking you for IP address. If you put wrong IP, it's not going to appear here. So make sure you put the right IP address there. So here now, the first thing I will explain to you is how to create a group inside this CurrentWare. So how can we create a group? Anytime you want to create a group, because here now we only have a computer, we did not have group. So imagine you are working for organization and the organization have sales group, they have HR group, and they have ICT group. So how can you create departments and how can you create all those groups? So the first thing you need to do is to come to where we have a computer. If you pull your arrow on computer, you will see 3 dots at the front of the computer. Click on it. So once you click on it, you will see option that say add new group. So you click on the option that says add new group. I can name this guy sales group. Sales group, you click create. Immediately you will see the group created here. So the same thing, if you want to create ICT, put your arrow on computer, you will see the 3 dots, click on it, add new group, and you name it ICT group. So that's how you can create a group. So you'll be creating your group. So imagine this particular system here belongs to sales group. So how can you add this system to a group? So how can you add the system to a group? You can actually do this thing in 2 ways. Anytime I want to add the system to a group, we have option that you have 3 icons here. The 3 dots here, click on it, and you will see option that say move computer. So if I click on this move computer, you will see the which destination do you want to move it to. Just expand this guy here. You will see all the group that you've created. So if I want to move this system to sales, I will just click on sales and I will click on move. So by default, this guy will move to sales. You will see that inside sales, we have like only one system. If I expand, you will see the system. But if I don't want to be using that 3 icon, anytime you want to move this system to any group, you can actually drag the system, drag and drop to any group. You can see here, I can drag it to sales. It will belong to sales. So that's how you can put system to each department. So right now, let's learn how to use this AccessPatrol. The first icon we've seen inside this access patrol is a device permission. That is the first icon that we see inside this access patrol, device permission. So if I click on this device permission, we have a lot of options inside this device permission. But the first thing I want you to put in mind is that anytime that you want to use this device permission, if you see this option here, the permission was on what? It was on computer. If I go ahead and do any policy here, this policy will only work for computer, whereas my devices were found inside a sales group. So we need to drag it to the group. If you expand this computer, drag it to the group that you want to attach that policy to. So I want to attach this policy to sales. Click on sales. And the first option is all devices. This all devices was on full access. What does full access mean? It means that any system belong to sales will be able to do all this option. They will be able to use a USB on the system. They will be able to use CD, floppy, tape, external firewire, SD card. They will be able to make use of all these things without restriction. But anytime I want to restrict them, I don't want them to make use of USB. I will come here, I will put it on no access. This telling you that any system belong to sales, it will not be able to use USB on their system. If I drag it down, I put it on read only. Read only means that they will be able to see the USB, but they won't be able to copy anything outside. They just have a read only permission. So what I'm going to do here, I will put this guy here on a no access. So I don't want anybody to use USB. The same thing, if you don't want them to use DVD, put it on no access. If you don't want them to use an SD card, put it on no access. So same thing as a memory card. So anything you don't want them to have access to on the network, you can put it on a no access when we're talking about storage and devices. The next option here is a wireless devices. If I don't want them to use Bluetooth, you put it on no access. The same thing to infrared and the Wi-Fi. So anytime you don't want them to use Wi-Fi, you can put it on no access. But anytime you don't want them to, anytime you don't want them to use an infrared as well, you put it on no access. So the same thing to UMA interface devices like a USB. Anytime you don't want them to use a keyboard and mouse, anytime you don't want them to use other HID, you put it on no access. So come to file hosting. So if I don't want people to be copying something out on my network, I need to disable this particular cloud storage because some employees can be looking for another way to copy something in any way that in any time that you block a USB. If I block a USB now, it means that there is no way anybody can use USB to copy anything on the network. Nobody will be able to use USB. But if that policy is there, employees can still be using this cloud storage. They can be moving the company resources to cloud, and they will be now from cloud restoring back to their system. So you need to do what? To disable this cloud storage so that they won't be able to be storing all those information on cloud. So we have a lot of options. You can disable camera, webcam, all those things. So you can disable USB, Ethernet, printer, network share. So all those things is based on the company policy that will determine which one you're going to disable in all those options. So once you choose the one you want to disable, you will see the option here that says a warning message. Click on the warning message. This warning message was unknown. You can drag it down and put it on a message box. So message box, it means that anytime I disable USB and the employees insert USB on the system, which message do you want them to see? Here says they will see your IT administrator has prevented you from accessing this device. So you can actually put whatever you want to put there. Please bear with us. So you can actually add your own words that you want to, your own message that you want them to see. You can actually add it there. So you click on apply to clients. So once you click on apply, you need to come here and you click on apply. So anytime you are making policy, make sure you click on apply and you will see permission applied to sales successfully. So we have disabled USB inside this system. So let me check. I'm going to insert USB on my system right now. So I'm going to insert a USB on my system. So I'm going to insert USB on my system, and let's see, maybe this USB is going to work. So I'm going to insert USB. If I go to this PC, you will see this USB. You see what? You see what we call an access is denied. So this USB is not going to work until I remove that particular policy. So as you can see here that I'm not able to use that USB on my system, you're going to see access is denied. So anytime you want to use USB, you will be seeing access denied. But the only way you can use the USB is when you are coming back here. So all those policies we are doing here, I will be removing all those things. So if you come back here, you put all those things back into normal. So if you put this back into normal, USB put it back into full access, and you apply, that's when I will now be able to use USB. Once you apply, if I go back to this guy, if I refresh, if I double click, I will be able to use all those USB. But with that policy, you won't be able to use the USB. When I click on the USB, the first time is showing access denied, but now I'm able to use this particular USB. So that's how you can use the first features in these tools, which is a AccessPatrol under device permission. So we have another option here. So we have another option we're going to talk about, which is a allow list. So if I click on allow list, what's the function of a allow list? For example, let me click on the department I have, sales, and I click on a add from available devices. You can see here, inside this allow list, the first main function of allow list is that let's assume I've already created a policy to sales, and I want all those policies I create to sales, I want it to be working for HR. I can copy all those policies. And I'm going to attach it to HR. And secondly, inside this allow list, you can specify which type of USB you want them to be using. So anytime I'm blocking a USB, I can say that I only want them to use a SanDisk. They will be only use SanDisk on the network. They will not be able to use another USB that is different from a SanDisk. So you can specify which type of devices you want them to use. And once you specify that policy, you can actually attach all those policy. You can attach those policy to another department. So you can attach all those policies to, you can copy the policy to another department so that the policy will be working for all those departments by default. So that's the function of that allow list. So the third option here is a device report. So basically, when we're talking about this device report, we can use this device report to run a lot of reports on the system. So for example, if I click on this report type, you expand, you can use this device report to run file operational history, to run all device access, to run access of allowed list, to run access of block device. So you can use this particular device report to run a lot of reports. So if I want to run report on file operational, it means that I want to run a report on which file the employee system has been copying and which file has been deleted, which file they have been using. So you need to put it on file operation. Here you will now select which system do you want to run the report for. So if the system belongs to sales, you click on it. If the system belongs to both sales and HR, you click the two. And if it's only sales, you click on which department the system belongs to, and you're going to click on select. So once you click on select, it will show you that one computer is selected. So the sort bar is going to show maybe you want to use date and time, you want to use file name, action, and type. So based on whatever you want to choose, you will decide whatever you want to choose. The order, is it ascending or descending? So you're going to choose it. So the period, do you want to run for today, yesterday, last end day, last month, or custom? So anytime you want to run the report for, you will choose it and the particular date, and you click on run a report. So if you click on run a report, it's going to generate it. But here it's telling you that no data available. The reason why it's showing you is that I haven't created any file, I haven't deleted any file. So that's the reason why it's showing you something like this. So assuming I goes to the system, you create a file and deleted a file. If you run the report, it's going to show you that you created a file and you deleted a file. So that's how to use this device report. The fourth option is an email report. So basically, device report and email report are the same thing. But device report, you need to be there. You will be running the report by yourself. But you can use this email report so that automatically CurrentWare will be sending the report to you on your email. So you can click new schedule and you're going to put the email that you will be receiving the report. And you put the format and the profile. When you put the format, maybe you want to be using XLS or you want to be using PDF. The schedule, how many times do we want the report to be coming into your email? Do you want the report to be coming daily or weekly? So you schedule the time. If it's a weekly, you need to schedule the day in the week. Maybe I want it on Saturday every 7 a.m. You put it here and you click on add schedule. So once you click on add schedule, the report will be coming to your email on the Saturday every week. So we have a fourth option, which is an email alert. So this email alert, what's the function of email alert? I can actually create an alert that I don't want anybody to use a Zoom. What does that one mean is that if I create an alert, say that anytime anybody, this PC using Zoom, I should be getting alert. What does that one mean is that anytime I create the alert, maybe I name the alert danger. You can actually name the alert anything and you go to the file or the devices. You now create the email that you want to be getting the alert. Anytime the particular file I specify here, the user use the file, I will be getting alert immediately. This thing is just like an intrusion detection so that anytime they are using that particular stuff, they will be sending you the alert. You will be aware of it. So that's the function of that email alert. So if I click on the last option here, so I can actually stop this guy, go to the last option. So we have a lot of option here. If I goes to device scheduler, so this device scheduler is very important. So for example, when I'm using the first icon, the first option inside this AccessPatrol, and we are blocking USB, anytime you are blocking USB, that USB is blocked 24/7, both morning and night. We are blocking the USB block both morning and night, but we can use this scheduler to schedule which time that I want to block the USB or which time that I want them to use USB. So you can use this device scheduler to schedule the time that you want the blocking to block. So it's not maybe the block will be the blocking of USB will be working 24/7. I can actually say that from 7 to 3, I don't want anybody to use USB, but you can achieve it through device scheduler. So how can you achieve it? Just go to where we have a USB drive, click on it based on anything you want to add schedule for. So select the access. Do you want to have full access? Click on it. Is it daily? Yes, click on it. Which time? Maybe from 7 to 8. If you click on add schedule, this thing means that your employees that belong to, but you need to specify the group, that belong to computers group, they will be able to have access to USB from 7 to 8 every day, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Here now we are just giving them 1 hour access. So based on anything you want to give them access on, so you will schedule the time. But mind you, anytime you are scheduling the time, make sure that you click on enable device scheduler. So if you did not enable this guy, the device scheduler is not going to work until you enable it. So that's how a device scheduler works. So we have another option that is a block file transfer. So I can actually block file transfer. So if I come here now, we have a two option. The first option is a enable block list. The second option is a enable allow list. So if I enable block list and I put any file that in exe, it means that I want to block any executable file. Any file from a format that is a exe, I will be blocking it. But if I come to enable, if I put exe, it means that I'm allowing any file that is what? Executable. If you put MSI, you are allowing any file that is MSI. So you can put all those things based on anything you want to allow and based on anything you want to block. So basically, that's everything that you need to know about the access patrol. So that's everything you need to know about the access patrol.